All right, guys. So I was actually recording a video and I ran into
Chris. What's up, guys?
What up? And yeah, he saw the Lambo and he pulled over. He was going to record a video. I pulled over, and now he ended up in the Lambo. We're going to go for a quick drive and see what he thinks.
This is so awesome, man. Thank you again.
Yeah, of course, man. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Joseph, and this is my 2006 Lamborghini Gallardo. In today's video, we're going to talk about the #1 question I've gotten asked since I purchased this car. Today's like the perfect day to take it out. It's like 45 degrees and sunny here in the Chicagoland area. So let's get started. All right, so we made it to the spot where I'm recording. If you guys are new here, like I said, this is my 2006 Lamborghini Gallardo. I purchased it about 7 months ago now, and this thing's been an absolute dream to own. And I want to talk to you guys about something in today's video that's kind of funny, actually. I want to talk about the #1 question I've gotten asked since owning this car. Now, a couple of the common ones are, what do you do for a living? What is the cost of something like this? Things like that. But the #1 question that I get asked is not what you think. It's actually, how do you know you're ready to commit to buying a car like this? How do you know you're ready to buy your first exotic or your first supercar? So that is what we're going to talk about here in today's video. But I just want to show you guys around real quick if this is your first time here. It's a 06 Lamborghini Gallardo. It has got the branding package, which means you got to take a look at this. Clear engine bay right there. Beauty. And yeah, there she is. A couple of mods that are potentially coming are a exhaust as well as a color wrap. So this is a actually very dark blue. It looks kind of black on some angles, but it's actually a very dark navy blue. And I really like it. It grew on me, but I just don't think it pops enough for being an exotic car. I think something like a orange or a red or a blue or green, something like that, would absolutely pop with this car. But yeah, let's talk about the question that I get asked the most. All right, so that might not have been what you guys were expecting, because I know owning a car like this, the common questions are, again, what do you do for a living? How much does it cost? Things like that. But it's actually crazy the amount of people that have hit me up and asked, how do you know you're ready to commit to a supercar? How do you know you're ready to buy your first exotic car? Whether that's a Lamborghini, Ferrari, a McLaren, Porsche, whatever it is, your first exotic car, how do you know you're ready? And here's my take on it. So again, guys, this is not financial advice by any means. This is just my opinion and kind of my way of thinking. But I know there are people out there like Manny Koshman that say you should have 10 times the amount of the car liquid in your bank account. So for example, I bought this car for 100 grand. He's saying that I should have $1 million liquid sitting in my bank account to go out and buy something like this. There are a bunch of different theories out there and ideas and concepts and things like that. And it's one of those to each their own type of things. But to me, the way I see it, the way I was able to justify this car is, first of all, obviously I use it for social media here on YouTube and my other platforms, which I will link down below. Make sure you guys check those out. But the main idea of when you're able to buy a car like this, in my opinion, is if it financially makes sense. If it's not going to impact you or your family, if you can comfortably afford, whether it's the monthly payment or if you're going to buy it outright in cash, that is when you're ready to buy the car. So again, having $1 million liquid cash in the bank to buy a $100,000 car might not make sense to a whole lot of people. I'd rather, again, invest that money to have it pay for the car and things like that. But those are just one of the theories that I've heard out there that's pretty common. But I also have another take on this. Check this out. Now, one of the difficult parts about buying this car is a couple things. Obviously, first of all, it was my first exotic. So getting financing for it was a little bit difficult. It wasn't just walk into any bank and say, hey, I want to buy a Lambo. Can you guys finance it? I did have to work with a bank that specialized in exotic cars. So that was the first challenge. The second challenge was the age of the car. Believe it or not, it's actually easier to finance a newer car like a Huracan and cars like that, as opposed to an older car like this, like a Gallardo. So that was another tricky part. And the other tricky part was getting insurance for this car. I actually had an agent lined up who said they can for sure get me a good rate. They gave me the rate. I was happy with it. When it came time to sign the paperwork, they said, actually, you're not able to get insured by us because this is, again, your first exotic car, and the insurance basically doesn't trust you with this much horsepower. And I told them, dude, my wife's Model X has more horsepower than this car. They're like, well, that car's heavier and it doesn't apply and things like that. So that was another hard part about getting this car. And I think the most stressful and most difficult part about buying this car is how limited these cars are. Now take a look. I've got my phone out and we're looking at the Auto Trader app, and all I did was put in Lamborghini Gallardo for sale, and these are nationwide, right? So check this out here. If we go right, all right. So check this out. We're on, again, autotrader.com. If I filter it by what my car is, right? So we're gonna go filter, we're gonna go year, we're gonna do 2006 to 2006, right? Check this out. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. We're also going to do the body style. We're going to make it a coupe, which is what mine is, and we're going to search. So as you can see, there's currently 3 coupes available. One's for 180, one's for 104, and one's for 89. Now that's what I think is the most difficult part about owning this car, or purchasing this car. Was the first time that I had seen this car, I knew that there's probably 100 other people that were looking at this exact car that were looking to buy it while I'm trying to line up financing to own my first exotic car. And again, the bank was being difficult, the insurance agent was being difficult, and it's just not an easy car to make happen. But luckily there are companies out there like Woodside Credit, which is who I use, and I was super thrilled with their service, and they actually made it happen. But again, just going back to the question of how do you know you're ready to buy your first exotic, like I said, I don't think you're ever ready. It's kind of like marriage. I got married at a young age, and a lot of people ask me, how do you know you're ready? How do you know you're ready? I don't think you ever fully are. You kind of just jump into it and kind of roll with the punches and learn as you go. So again, this is my first exotic car, and I want to share it with you guys. So if you guys are new here, I'd really appreciate a subscribe, so that you guys can stay up to date with what it's like to own a supercar, and any of the challenges and things that come along with it I want to share with you guys. So in short, you're never really ready to buy your first exotic car. However, my take on it is if it's not going to financially impact you or change your life or your family's life in any negative way, I say go for it. You only live once, and like I've told a lot of people, I'd rather drive this car in my 20s and 30s as opposed to my 70s and 80s if I'm able to. So that is my take on owning an exotic car and when you should make the jump. So for those of you out there that are on the fence about it, this is motivation. I wake up every day, I look at this car, on my way out to work, I'm like, dude, I gotta grind, I gotta hustle to pay for this car, to get a nicer car like this, and things like that. So if you're on the fence about it, I say go for it. Be wise about it, make sure it doesn't impact you or your family negatively. But that is my take on when you are ready to buy your first exotic car. Guys, if you're new here, again, hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. All right, guys, so I was actually recording a video and I ran into
Chris. What's up, guys?
What up? And yeah, he saw the Lambo and he pulled over. He was going to record a video. I pulled over, and now he ended up in the Lambo. We're going to go for a quick drive and see what he thinks.
This is so awesome, man. Thank you again.
Yeah, of course, man. So how epic was that? I was actually on my way home from recording the video, and I see a Prius, a guy driving. He like snapped his neck looking at the Lambo, and I had to pull over and talk to him for a second, let him check out the car, and actually ended up giving him a ride. He was a super nice guy, and he really liked the car. He's like, yo, can I get a ride? So we went around the block, and that's what owning a car like this is all about. I love sharing with you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys so much for, again, just making this possible. So thank you guys. Guys, don't forget, don't be average. I'll see you guys in the next video.